2019, so pre-pandemic, was a fantastic year for animated films. We had, Disney at their A game, delivering, some phenomenal movies. The Lion King, The Return of the Lion King, grossing over $1 billion. And Toy Story 4 as well, doing incredible numbers. But there certainly comes a point where that franchise model starts to lose the intent of that family audience. It's a little bit repetitive, and maybe the braver cinema going, the filmmaking has been a little bit more challenging for movie studios. It's not to say they don't do it, but I think it is a challenge. And DreamWorks tried their very best in 22 to launch Bad Guys, potential franchise starter, but perhaps the audiences weren't there, and the grosses probably weren't where they needed to be. So I think that's been quite a difficult, challenging run. And also you then look at the services, Disney Plus and Netflix and other streaming services. A lot of that product is there, and I'm sure we'll jump on to talking of shortening windows, but that family audience, if you don't get it right, probably in the 2015s, by the time those kids are now teenagers making their own choices, you've kind of lost a degree of that audience and that cinema going habit. Family animated movies, as we knew them, they were grossing as much as big action movies because they had the opportunity to have multi-layered kind of comedic skits. It wasn't just all physical comedy. They were really well written, and the original DreamWorks did this fantastically well. When you rewatch those movies, there's lines in there for all types of cinema goers, and that's deliberate. That's to really try and grow the pie. And there isn't an animated movie maker out there that thinks this is just for family audiences. They're always thinking, well, how do I entertain teens? How do I entertain that general cinema goer? So when movie studios put together a set of comps, comparison titles to launch and greenlight a movie, typically they will always look at which movies have done well within genre. So animation will always be the animation comp set, so the comparison set. So that's always the starting point. Not to do Jack Whitehall a disservice, but Clifford the Big Red Dog is probably more like a category B. Not to say that it was made for home entertainment, because that's a very old term, but it's probably made for other windows of consumption and very much leveled at that pure family, younger family end of movie going versus that broader end, which is where Pixar pitches its films. It's where Disney pitches the majority of its films. It's where Illumination and DreamWorks on the whole pitch most of their films. It's a shame that programming isn't quite there for the family audience, because the moment the family audience decide it's more convenient to stay at home, then that kind of locks the door to a degree on restarting the genre. And I'd really want that genre to be healthy. It was a genre that I loved all the way through my 20 years in the movie business. And they were always exciting because you got to do things that were very fresh and very different, tell different stories. So from a marketing point of view, they are an absolute dream to work on, because you have to think about the different audiences and the different types of content that you've got to get there. But parents always want convenience. When you've got young kids, you want to make sure that you can look after them, control them for that hour and a half. But the thing they're missing out on, genuinely, is the magic of going to the movies, right? All of that magic starts somewhere. It's in a darkly lit room with strangers, having a fantastic time, completely, submerging yourself in the screen and often being dressed up as that character, or going away to buy that piece of merchandise to extend that magical experience as a family. So I think it's, the streaming services have changed that dynamic. The convenience has changed that dynamic, but it's not offering the same magic.